And I landed on maybe this is what life is truly about, the perpetual forgetting, only to recursively remember once more that I am
Damn.
here now, but for so long as I can remember, I am.
That's beautiful.
Welcome to Permission the Podcast. I'm Dr. T, and this is my sister,
Silvana, and we are two regular people talking about spirituality in our daily lives.
Each week, we're inviting you to the internal conversation. So let's get started.
With your permission.
Welcome back to Permission the Podcast.
Hi.
So today we are going to be focused on the being. I believe I mentioned last episode that it's closely connected to the last episode, which was the alignment. It's funny, when we started talking about, okay, what are we going to talk about? My go-to question is, what's most present now? Right?
Yeah.
Because we're in a constant state of learning. Me and you are in a constant state of learning, constant state of development. We're getting in information all the time. We're aware, we're paying attention, so we're learning. And so my initial question is always, okay, what's most alive for you right now? And that's where the last episode came from, was what was most alive for you, which really almost like inevitably is what is also most alive for me as well.
Yeah.
Because we do that.
Because we have a lot of things we're doing together, right? We have the business, we have the podcast, and so if something is showing up for you, for me, it's
Usually showing
it's
up
hitting you
from,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
By default, is that how you would say it?
yeah. So you came up with alignment, which was relevant for me as well. And I came up with this, which is
Relevant for everybody. Yeah.
I do not believe I have talked about my conference experience on the podcast.
No, the one with the new version of you came on. By the way, this is Dr. Teresa, the new and improved version.
Dr. T 2.0 coming in hot. Okay, so I went to a workshop, and it's funny, I did a review for the workshop, and it was kind of like one of these, like, what, Instagram posts, reels, I don't know what they're called. And because at the end of the workshop, the last presenter said, you know, if you want to leave a review, we would love to have you kind of record a review for, you know, the promotion of this conference. So I went up and I did a review, and I've been saying this so many times now. I feel like it's practiced, because people have been asking me, oh, how was the conference?
Okay.
Well, I thought I signed up for a conference, and, you know, I came out of it a completely different person. And she kind of turned and looked at me, and she asked, like, in a good way. And I was like, in the most best possible way.
Nice.
But so I'll start with, it was a ACT boot camp conference. ACT, acceptance, commitment, therapy. ACT is what I do. ACT is what I live. ACT is how I live my life. Anyway, I went to an ACT boot camp in 2022. I wrote about it in a little book called Forever Asterisks, Terms and Conditions May Apply. I put it in that book because I felt like it was an introduction to the end of things in my marriage, because from that conference, I started really kind of taking ownership for myself and not other people.
Nice.
I think that was the way that I would describe it best. And so it changed my life the first time around. And I thought, I'll go again so that I can meet ACT people and network.
Oh,
That was
okay.
the whole purpose, because why would I sign up for the same conference again, So
What did it feel the same? Meaning the information. You know how we do Dr. Joe stuff, and the information is, you can say it's a little repetitive.
no, yeah, it's all the
Because,
same.
yeah.
So yes, it's all the same kind of. I mean, what changed was some developments in the research, and they do a lot of research. So in the past 4 years, the some of the research has changed, and that has been updated. So they're really good about updating the material,
Okay.
just like Dr. Joe Dispenza is. Whenever he finds out something new, he just like adds
That's
it
it.
in.
And the repetitive comment was because there's a purpose for it, right? To wire in your brain so you can have it there,
Oh
not
yeah,
just as a
for sure.
concept. Right.
And so a lot of same exercises, a lot of same things. So yes. And I was a totally different person in 2022.
So that changed.
Right.
On its own, yeah.
I also was a different person. So there's that. There was a different presenter. So little things like that. So I signed up for this conference with the intention of networking, and it completely changed my life. And it started with a real play. Okay, so in the conference, and they had this the last time as well. In the conference, they do these things called real plays. It's like a role play, but it's real in that the trainer plays a therapist, but the trainer is a
It's a
therapist.
therapist.
And an attendee of the conference signs up to be the patient and play the patient. What makes it real is the attendee that signs up is bringing a real life problem. So when I signed up, I had to give kind of a thing that I wanted to bring to the real play. Like, what is the thing that I'm struggling with in the moment? And what I told Spencer, the guy in the back that does all the things, is, well, let me back up.
I'm like, I'm waiting.
Let me back up, because it all started with, first of all, it's a 4-day conference. This is day 1. I'm sitting through the material. It's great material. And I know the material because this is the approach that I use. So it's not like new material. But you get introduced to the same thing from a different perspective, or a new person using it in a different way. It gives you a little bit more context or texture or whatever. it gives it a little bit different life. So it was a great day to begin with. And my friend Red had some family in town and invited me to a happy hour. So I went up to Spencer and I was going to ask about scheduling and timing because I wanted to
Go to
meet up
happy hour.
with my friend and meet her, kin and all this other stuff. So my intention was to ask about scheduling. When I walked up towards Spencer, he had just finished talking to someone and he was taking notes, and I knew it was the person in front of me had been talking to him about signing up for the real play. So that was what was happening right before I went up to him. And then I went up to him, I said hi, he remembered me, la la la. And we kind of catched up really quickly, and I asked about the schedule. He said, it's going to be at this time, and I thought, oh, I'm not going to make it. And then as I'm talking to him without premeditating the whole premeditative, is that, how do you say it? Without pre-contemplation.
Okay.
I did not go up to Spencer thinking, I'm going to sign up for this real play. Just that in real time.
Did he assume, he's like, oh, so you're signing up for this?
No, just in real time with talking to him and asking him about the schedule, and we're going back and forth, and he's like, how are you? And all this other stuff. I was like, I'll sign up for the real play. I just it was one of those things that just happened. And as I was saying it, I was surprised that I was saying it, but not surprised I was saying it. And at the same time, I was like, okay, so this is happening.
It was more like, wait, I can't believe I just did that. But I believe it.
But
okay.
But then I thought, well, what are the chances that
I get picked?
Yeah. What are the chances he'll pick me? Or, I'm assuming lots of people sign up for this thing. I mean, it's kind of, here's the thing. It would kind of be like, hey,
does anybody want a free massage?
Do you wanna sign up to be, on stage with Dr. Joe Dispenza? I assume that lots of people would want to do that, but then there's this sense of like, well, would I want to do therapy in front of 200 people? My thought was like, what are the chances? Whatever, I'll throw my name in the hat, right?
Okay.
And that's how that happened. It was almost like the same way I signed up for a matchmaker. It's just like, oh, I wonder how this would happen if I didn't do the apps. Oh, okay. Matchmaking services, free consultation. Oh, yeah, I'll sign up. It just like, it almost felt like it happened on its own, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And so then the first day ends, we have a break, and then the real plays are going to start, and I wasn't told that I was going to do a real play, so I imagined there's only 2 real plays in the evening. So I imagined I was not going to be one of them because no one told me that I would be, right? Like, kind of like...
Okay, nobody said, hey, you won the spot. You're going to be the second one presenting.
Right. Like no one came, like Spencer didn't come up to me and say, hey, I'm deciding to go with you with the first presenter. You'll be first stop after the break.
But then
No
maybe
one said
that's
that.
on purpose so that you don't have to overthink, okay, what am I going to work on? It just kind of becomes
well,
more organic, more like it's, with a flow of a natural flow, right?
I
Instead
mean, I
of
don't know if it's on purpose, but sure.
Okay, go ahead.
So then after the break, Spencer's like, oh, okay, trainer 1, you're up first. And then he calls my name. And I'm like,
What are the chances? I'm like, oh, I'm up?
First real play.
You're the first one
I'm the first one
in the whole event.
of the event.
Or the day. Okay, it's the event. Wow. Okay.
So then, and then he goes, and if you're okay, unless you change your mind. And I'm like, oh my God. No. No. So, I'm at this event and I'm wearing my uniform, which is a button up and a blazer. Right. So I walk up and I take my blazer off. I almost take off my button up just to get the uniform off. Right. But instead I roll up my sleeves. I sit down and I told her, like, I told Spencer, I love that we're just like talking about Spencer now. I told Spencer that because he queries people about why they want to sign up for the real play. And I assume that they have seen so many people just go up there and be resistant, I guess, or oppositional, which is like a weird thing to do.
Okay.
Anyway, he seemed particularly annoyed by that, and he made it a point to say, we're not going to do that. Pick something real and actually pick something workable or whatever. So when I went up to talk to him, I said, I do all of these things. I'm very active in my life. And sometimes I wonder if I'm focusing on the right things. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. And he seemed really about it, which when I got picked, I guess I'm not surprised I got picked because he was so about what I was saying.
Okay.
So I sit down with the trainer and I said, I told Spencer this. And I do lots of things, and I have lots of time. And in that time, and in the time in between things, and there's stillness, I wonder if I am focusing on the right things. And it's like a little kind of tap, like are you focusing on the right things? Like
You're checking, just checking in.
Yeah, and I don't know what to. Sometimes I don't know what to do about that, and then I go into, okay, because what I tell my patients is those questions demand your attention and demand to be answered. So I go into, do I want to be writing? Yes, I do. Do I want to do podcasting? Yes, I do. If I had all the money in the world, what would I be doing? I would be doing the same exact things, only much bigger, right? So when I get the moments where, I've done, and she asked me all the things I do. And I listed like
1,000 things.
No, I probably listed 5 out of 100 things. Like, and then at some point I said, I could keep going, but like, this seems not relevant. Just like, fair. So I, in the moments where I do have the stillness, it comes at times when it could be kind of in the middle of the day, right? So I've woken up, I've already done an hour of meditation, I've likely already exercised, I've had meetings or patients, I have the rest of the evening schedule, which is patience. I have scheduled the time to write, or I probably have already written by the time this moment comes. I've listened to some information in the form of a podcast or some sort of
ebook,
information, right? I have left home. I have come back. I have showered. So I've done lots and lots of things by the time this moment comes. And it could be an hour or two where I have, the evening block starts, which is my evening patient, and maybe after my evening patients, I have scheduled something else, like another hour of writing but it's a different type of writing or clinical practice things.
Mm-hmm.
And so this moment comes and I'm like, there's nothing left to do because I have already done it, or I can't do more because it's scheduled. Like I can't have my 3 p.m. patient at 12 because I'm having this moment, right? I don't want to not have time because I've built this relationship with time where I know I have endless amounts of time. So that's not going to change. Even if I add on 100 more things to do, I'm still going to have endless amounts of time, right? So it's not about filling up my time or being scattered or doing more or whatever. I know that because I don't want my relationship to time to change. So then it comes up as okay, are these the things I want to be doing? And then it circles back to, I'm doing this, and I want to, and if I had all the money in the world, and I land on, okay, I'm doing all the things I want to do, and I can just, and where the session went was, I can just enjoy being with myself in the luxury of having time.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I landed on. And it was just gold. It was precious, precious gold. And actually one of the participants, because my mom came up, as moms do in therapy, and what happened was she slowed down the moment that I have this question. And it's usually when I've done all the things I can, and then it's just, I have time where I don't have anything to do, right? So she slowed down the moment. She brought me to present that moment, and she wanted to be in that moment with me. And she's like, okay, so then you allow yourself to have this moment, and then what? And I was like, oh, well, then there's always dishes. like I get up and do do the dishes, because there will always be dishes, and dishes could be laundry, and dishes could be vacuuming, and dishes could be reorganizing. Dishes could mean getting the summer clothes out because I need those. And I haven't taken down my summer clothes, but that's a different story. And she's like, okay, so you let yourself have it for like a very small amount of time, and then you get up. Like, what's getting you up? Like, what's happening there? No seas vaga. My mom, growing up, would basically say, I don't even know how many times she said this to me.
Don't be lazy.
Don't be lazy. Also, don't be a bum. like it's a word that means
both.
Don't be a lazy bum.
Yeah.
And somehow that has seeped into my unconscious so much. And I told her, I was like, that is unbelievable. And she goes, right, no one believes that. Not even you believe that. But it's there. And I'm like, fuck. So then what I landed on is I can have that moment and be able to be with that moment for longer periods of time. And that was the gift. That is the gift I walked away from, and that is the gift I have been giving myself since then. And I'm a totally different human being. So being.
I do that. Well, when it comes to just being present, and I find that silence and staring at nature, it's one of my favorite things. Even if I'm going to be doing something else at the same time. Like the other day, I I didn't make it. I ordered a protein salad, and has tons of proteins. It's amazing.
I'm sorry. What is a protein salad?
I go to this place in Fairfield. It's called Just Salad, and they have a protein salad. It has lentils. It has a ton of chicken, because it just feels like everybody has a piece of chicken. It has a hard-boiled egg, spinach, and other carrots and other stuff. It has corn, but I normally get it without corn. I don't want the sugar. And the dressing is a cilantro vinaigrette it's a little spicy, so I love it. And it has seeds, like I think it's sunflower seeds. It's fire. I love it.
I can't wait to try it.
And so I grabbed the salad, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to sit in the backyard and look at the trees while I'm eating my salad in silence. No phone, nothing. Just eating. Well, I could hear myself chew, but I was like, the sun is in between the trees. There's all this green. And then I'm like, I'm eating green stuff. I'm being grateful for the greens too. And I'm like, I'm taking in all of this stuff that nature made. And, I also pray over my food. I can say pray, or more like I bless my food. And I'm grateful.
Stop it. You can say pray.
Right, but it's more like a blessing. Like, I am blessing my food. I'm not asking God, bless this food. No, I'm blessing my food, and I'm being grateful for the chicken that put the egg, made the egg, and also the chicken that I'm eating. And I'm like, I'm just grateful for it. And so, yes, it is a prayer, but it's also a blessing. And I'm just sitting there looking at nature, and I'm done with my salad, and I'm just like in this trance with nature and the grass and everything. It's very powerful, and very just being there and taking it all in, soaking in I don't know, everything.
You know what's funny is, like, one of the things that I said that I do is, I meditate twice a day. And someone asked me later, like,
Wait, how many
like,
hours in your day?
no, I did.
I have 24 hours in a day. How many hours do you have?
So I have lots more hours. So I, someone asked me, like, in the meditation, aren't you just being? And I'm like, no, I'm doing the meditation.
That's why I go back into silence, being silent.
Well, because the meditation I do is Joe Dispenza.
So you can hear him
I'm
talk.
creating my future. I'm doing the meditation. When I say I'm meditating, I'm doing a Joe Dispenza meditation. It's usually
Guided
gearing
meditation.
me up to create. It's 2 hours a day. I'm gearing up to create something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing the meditation, which is visualizing my future and creating it.
Uh-huh.
And hopefully reminding myself of it throughout the time in between the meditations. But a few people actually asked, so what are you, like, don't you meditate? Are you being? And I'm like, I'm doing the meditation when I'm meditating.
Wow. When I don't know, when I meditate also, but first let me go back to being silent. I think that is one of the most powerful things you can do, or at least I can, by just looking at nature and being quiet, taking it in, the sun, the wind, everything, the grass. I'm barefoot, I'm grounding, I'm just feeling it all in. And then what happens is I feel like it fuels my creativity too. Like all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, then something comes into my mind, like I'm going to create this, or I can see it, or I get messages. And so that, to me, that's super powerful. And as far as meditation goes, I am doing the meditation, but I'm also being present. So to me, it's both. It's not separate.
Yeah, I'm being with Joe.
I'm
Dr.
being
Joe.
and doing, but it takes a lot of presence. It takes a lot of intention to just be nothing, right? To just not let anything get in between, right? To me, at least.
Yeah. And I've been wondering, like, do I feel something when I don't do stuff?
Do you feel guilt?
No, I don't feel guilt. I don't feel guilt. I'm more looking at it from the lens of, am I optimizing my time? Because I know it's my most precious commodity. It's the commodity I can't win back.
Okay.
And like last podcast, we were talking about how I didn't go apple picking, right? And that can be the symbolic thing that we use moving forward, like the apple picking is, I did finish the first draft of
the
book 1 of the trilogy. And I'm very proud of that. And that was my goal. And that's what I set out to do. And I did it. And I would not want to take away from that. And the cost is apple picking, right? The cost is time spent with my parents. So last week we recorded the most amazing badass rebellion episode that
It's a good one.
it's a great one. And I had a little nerves about, orchestrating it. I did have some nerves. I was trying to say, I'm really excited. I'm really excited. When you reframe the experience, it actually helps create some momentum towards having it be a positive experience. I thought it was a great episode. I learned a lot from doing it, and also like doing it from the perspective of the content that we were talking about, but also doing it from the aspect of being present in the recording and all of that stuff. And we talked the day before, and I said, hey, I have time in the morning before we get on the call with these amazing women, all doctors. And you said, well, if I do the recording, I won't be able to go to the senior center with my father and
carve wood
and I'll spend an hour and a half there. And I kind of poked at the timing. I was like, well, if you get there at 9, you can't stay there for an hour and a half. And that whole conversation. And there was a part of me that initially I was like, come on, bro. You see our father every single day. And then there was another part of me that absolutely loved, like 1,000%, that you said, no, I'm going to go to the senior center and carve the wood. And I was like, okay. But and I loved it, and I loved it, and I wanted
when
to
I don't
honor,
go, when I don't go, Dad calls me. When I don't go, all the other seniors, the old men that carve wood, that ask about me, and also I help them out, with like painting and stuff. So I feel like it's very rewarding to go. One, to spend time with Dad, but also I'm part of their team. And it's like, if I'm not there, I'm missed, and I feel it.
It's so funny. So I had a barbecue with NYC ACBS. Now you know what it means. And if you don't know what it means, I feel like you should look it up because it's pretty cool. I had a social event with NYC ACBS, and if I had helped at the beginning of the event, which I signed up, I volunteered to help with the event. If I hadn't gone at the start of the event, I would have missed my Saturday partner of WAD and coffee. And I had this kind of, conversation with myself of, I go every Saturday, and do I have, and I decided to honor my partner, WAD, which actually resulted in such an amazing thing. Well, in what?
In meeting the architect? No,
it actually resulted in meeting someone else that I hope will be a guest in the show. And that day was the day that a friend of mine at the gym invited me over to his place to celebrate his birthday which was 2 days before mine, but he was celebrating it with friends after the fact, so a weekend later. And that was the first time he invited me over to his place, and I said, yes, I'll go. And so I went to my Saturday morning partner WOD. I did a coffee, a fast one. I went and helped out to the event. Anna came and we went to my CrossFit friend's
Birthday
place.
gathering.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
wait, is that where you...
Yeah.
Okay.
So had I not gone to, right? So there, I remember this one conversation me and you had, and you were like, can you miss CrossFit like one day? Which was in my head when I was thinking maybe I should just go to this ACBS event early, help set up and stay there all day and all this other stuff. And I was like, no, there's something about showing up regularly, being a part of a community regularly where these opportunities are, and there's something about just listening, because maybe it could have been the reverse. Maybe it could have been that I, listened to the fact that maybe I should go to this event early and something else wonderful would have happened. Right.
Mhm.
But it's more about just like listening to yourself, and that takes first being with yourself
Right.
in order to listen to yourself, and
And-
then doing the thing.
And asking the question, like, is it what's going to bring me more joy or passion? Or is it meeting earlier with Tere, that I'm going to meet with her anyway for a long time? Or let me go to the senior center for an hour and 15 minutes. I said an hour and a half because I thought, okay, by the time I get there and back, and you're like, well, that only gives you an hour and 15. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. And sure enough, I went and I did what I needed to do. And
And when you first said it, I was kind of a little like, what the fuck? And then, like, that was my reaction, right? Like, I was like, what the fuck? And then I thought, oh my God, I love her. Like, that is so amazing. And
Yeah.
I thought, that is, yes, you go and do that for an hour and 15. And it is something to keep in mind. I was spending some time with my writing a writing friend, and at the beginning of each writing session, we kind of go into, okay, what's been happening for you? What's been happening for me? We're live from New York, just so everyone knows. And we catch up, and I said, the best way to describe what's happening right now is I have so many balls in the air, and I'm like looking to make sure all of the balls are in the air and no balls on the ground. Like, I'm just like, okay, that's happened, and then that, and then I'll have a meeting, and nothing, and then I look at the floor to see if anything has dropped.
Yeah.
And I said, that's what my life feels like right now, and it's great, and I'm loving it.
That sounded overwhelming to me.
I mean,
Well,
it doesn't
you
take
do
much to kind of check all the
you do
things.
juggle a lot of stuff, and you do a lot of stuff. And I was just thinking about myself the same way. Like, you do, for someone that, it's currently, quote unquote, unemployed, because I got laid off some months ago. I do a lot of stuff. I carve wood with my father every morning. Mondays, no, because we record the podcast. So that's the day that I'm like, okay, I'm not going to the senior center. Or sometimes I do, depending on what we have going on. But I know I have to cut it short. And so, and then I'm doing all of my art. And then we're doing the business that we're building. And, there's a lot of work we put into it. And there's the podcast, and then all my new art that I'm doing with wire, which is now more like jewelry. And I have a friend that is going to join me into making this happen, like more like, okay, we're going to have a spiritual jewelry line. And so there's a lot of things happening. And I am doing a lot. But at the same time, it's all very fulfilling. And I don't know if I told you, Teddy, but I think it's been 3 or 4 days ago. I was laying in bed, and then I was just I'm doing my morning routine of gratitude. I listen to this one abundance song that is 18 minutes long every morning. I'm listening to that song, and then I'm all of a sudden my heart just opened up and exploded. And I'm like, oh my God. 3 years ago, I made a list. I made a list of what I wanted to be doing when I was between 50 and 51. I'm 51 now. I made this list. And first one was, I want to retire. And what I meant by that was that I don't want to work for someone else. I want to work for myself. The second one was, I want to create a whole bunch of art and sell it. And people are buying my stuff. The third one was, I wanted to carve wood with my father every day. And then I wanted to make some sort of impact in the community, and I do that with my circle of women. And then it just dawned on me, I wrote all of these things 3 years ago that I wanted to be doing now. I should have put $1 billion in there.
Yo.
but just how powerful our words are, our intentions. We're spell casting when we're writing, when we're saying these things. And when people would ask me about hey, what do you want? Oh yeah, I want to retire when I'm 50. They were like, what?
Bro.
And so
I'm going to work till my last breath. I'm going to be doing something.
Well, when I'm in retirement, I don't want to work for someone else. And I made that, and I also wrote that down. This is what I mean. I don't want to work for someone else. I want to work for myself. Because to me, that wouldn't feel like work. And so, yeah.
Well, I don't think it's stressful. When I give the image of balls in the air, it's more just I'm keeping everything up and in the air, and things are alive that are alive, and making sure that things that are alive are not dead and that the dead things stay dead.
So you're watering your plants, right? You're watering the plants. You're not watering a dead plant.
Right.
Right.
And it's funny, I was talking to someone and never mind. And I was talking to someone and I was like, yeah, the genius has me on speed dial. And that was pretty funny. But
nice.
and so same barbecue, the president-elect of the organization, NYC ACPS, was talking to me about how he's really focused on bringing more events and really kind of materializing the community, which I'm all about it. And he said, the events committee meets Mondays, the first Monday of every month. And I was like, I would love to be a part of that. And a colleague that was at the conference that I went to
You have time for that?
And saw the real play was
She's
like, oh yeah, like you need more shit to do. and I pushed him like Elaine in Seinfeld. I was like, and I was like, oh, he's probably right. But I mean, I have time.
She has time.
I have time.
So you heal that part of you, the don't be lazy, don't be a bum.
I mean, it's there, and I didn't know how much it was there, and now it's just conscious, right? And now I have the ability to just be with myself, and that voice come. The question of am I focusing on the right thing is now not present anymore. It's
I
just
love
not
it.
there anymore.
It doesn't have a reason anymore.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. And are you going to tell how emotional you got during the session?
Oh, so the real play was roughly 30 minutes, and there was somewhere between 100 and 150 attendees there. It's an evening section that is sectioned off. So the days are sectioned off by CEs. So the hours correlate to CEs. So if you want to get credit for the thing, you have to stay for the evening.
Okay.
If you don't necessarily care for the credit for it, depends on how many hours you want to get, or if you want to attend the evening session, essentially. So some people weren't there, and they were only there for the morning piece, and which means out of the 200 attendees, there were roughly 150. And so it was in front of everyone. And when the trainer slowed things down for me, and she said, you know, I want to slow this moment down, and I want to be on that couch with you. And it was so weird because it felt like she was on the couch with me. And we were there. And because at this point, I had been talking about how I'm really focused on legacy work. I want to leave my little print, even if it's on the sand in the world. I feel the weight of the responsibility to do something with my life that is meaningful and impactful. And so I was at this point, I had kind of expressed how it was engaging in my life in a meaningful way, and all of the things I'm doing are that meaningful. And at the same time, I'm acutely aware that there's only something I can do. Like, there's something I can only do, and there's something you can only do. And I told her, like, I'm not you. I can't do what you do. And then I named, Stephen Hayes as like the superstar of ACT. And I said, I'm not Stephen Hayes. I can't do what Stephen Hayes does. And same thing, right? And you can't do what I do because I'm uniquely me. And I'm acutely aware that because I'm uniquely me, there's something for me to uniquely do. And so when we sat in the couch together, theoretically, right, there was this sense of like, and time is fragile. And she's like, you're not gonna be here forever. And I was like, no. I mean, I obviously wasn't screaming, but I'm like, yeah, you're right. And I got so choked up. Because we were landing in this moment of time of being, and there is something fragile about mortality, and sensitive and vulnerable about being present with life, knowing that this is the only time I'm going to be Teresa de Jesus Reyes Castillo. This is the only time that I will have this moment. And then then it slips like from your fingers, like sand with a gust of wind, right? And when she amplified that moment, it was like I could tap into like that heart opening that I experienced when I lost Iman in 2024, of I can love big, and that love is connected to pain, the pain of loss. He's gone. Iman's my dog, was my dog. And that's what it is. That's what life is. And landed on, I'm pulling it up right now because I want to make sure I get the wording right for this. And I landed on, maybe this is what life is truly about, the perpetual forgetting, only to recursively remember once more that I am
Damn.
here now, but for so long as I can remember, I am.
That's beautiful. Who said that?
Me.
Oh, okay. That's
Hold on,
amazing.
this is what I wrote after, like, literally the day after the session, which I wrote in a thank you letter to the trainer, because I knew on that day, in that moment, that I was not ever going to be the same ever again.
That's awesome.
And she
Wow.
deserves to know that, right? So let me read it again because I fucked it up the first time. Hold on. Maybe this is what life is truly about. The perpetual forgetting, only to recursively remember once more. I am that I am here now, but for so long as I can remember, I am.
Wow.
So being.
So being, presence, just being you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just want to touch on just the presence, not being us, but when we offer that presence to someone else, how to just be for that person, be present. Meaning, if someone needs, wants to, especially in my circle, if they want to talk, if they want to say something, just being there, present, without judgment, without anything, just being there, listening. And for the people out there that are like so connected to their phone, and so if someone is talking to you, put that thing away. you know, be present, really listen. And I think that's so powerful too, just being able to hold space for someone when they need it, even if it's just for 8 minutes.
That was the thing that was the loudest during the real play is how present we both were. Like, granted, there were all of the attendees that were watching, right? And in that, when I was kind of looking into her eyes, she was looking at me, and we were holding space. And because we're both, psychologists, or I think she's a psychologist, she knows how to hold space. I know how to hold space. It felt like we were in a bubble within a bubble, because even the conference room full of therapists felt like it was a bubble.
Okay.
But between me and her, like, I was locked in. It was funny because initially the seats for the real play were almost like kind of facing the audience just a little. It was almost like seating, like what you would imagine for like a TV show host, like almost like facing the audience just a little bit, but kind of towards each other. And I was like, oh, I'm not gonna do that. I went up there and I kind of locked in with just her, and I straightened my chair, and I just like all I saw was her, and the audience kind of dropped away until there was one moment where I dropped the fourth wall, and I was like saying, there's this like, are you focusing on the right things thing? And I said, it's kind of like that whole analogy of, if your life was a movie, what would the audience be screaming for you to do? And I turned to the audience and say, just tell me, I'll do it. Just tell me what to do.
Wow.
Because I was like, I don't know. But and I'm doing all the things, right? So
Yeah. Wow. That's intense moment. So the audience was like, whoa.
Audience was like, what?
And the Oscar goes to.
They must have been like,
the
what
real
is
play.
going on?
Did they pay her? Is she in the payroll?
Oh my God.
Is this a marketing thing?
Listen, at the end of the real play, someone thought me and the trainer knew each other.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because you guys locked in, you connected, you're holding space for each other, and that requires, a certain intimacy, and
Lots.
Yeah.
Someone did. Someone asked, like, do you guys? And maybe they thought it was planned or plotted or something.
It's like, wow, you got my money. you got my vote.
Oh my God. You know how this connects to the other episode of Alignment, right? Because I was, talking blah, blah, blah. And someone, and after the real play, we take questions and like we processed, and usually it's questions to the trainer about, oh, I noticed that you went there with your line of questioning, or what was your thought behind asking this question, or things like that, where it's kind of like technical questions about applying the approach. And someone from the audience was like, thank you for going up there. You're really vulnerable, blah, blah, blah. Why did you do it? and I said, I'm only gonna tell you. Don't tell anyone. I'm in love with heartbreak. and I wrote a book about it, I said. And when I said that was the yada yada, right? So I was like, yada yada yada. I'm I was able to get back to a place that I thought I can only have when my heart was broken. And I don't have to get, like, I don't need to have my heart
Heartbroken.
opened.
Heartbroken to be open. Correct.
Right. And I said, and this is everything,
Yeah.
right? This is everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Let me
mean,
repeat that again. Wait, you don't need to have your heart broken to be open, to let light in, to let things, wonderful things in. Are you typing that? Okay. All right. Now there's one of my quotes.
and so so his next question was, what's the name of your book and where can I get it?
That's awesome.
So it's so kind of connecting back to the last episode. I mentioned the book as a yada yada. And from that came several people at that conference were then interested in my book because I, I mentioned it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Presence. Just being
in the moment so that you can get the thing.
Yeah. It's not funny, but like I'm thinking, the more I think about this whole presence thing, and I've thought about it many, many times before, is that also the value of your words. We're in this moment right here, right now. And the value, the 100% value of those words are in this moment. So that's why it's like, when you promise something, oh, I love you forever. The value is right now.
Forever is in this moment.
Yeah. So we are in this forever now. Like what Char would say, what time is it? Or is it Joe? Right now. What time is it now? uh,
Yeah.
well, you had quite the experience. This new version of you is amazing.
Thank you.
Pleasure to meeting you. And I feel like we both are evolving into these new versions of ourselves.
I feel like you had that same moment too.
Yeah.
Like
what was it? Let me see.
A few days before.
And what was the moment? Let me think.
It was a Friday.
It's a Friday. I know. Something happened. I can't even rethink of it right now. Oh, I'm talking about my dream. My dream and
Friday, May 8th. That's funny. That was my boy's birthday. May 8th.
I'm trying to think. Was it prior to my circle? I can't remember now.
When
but I
was
know
your
I had
circle?
it was for the full moon, but that was the beginning of the month. But something changed in me with I got this download of information and it just kept telling me what to do. And so I feel like I had an upgrade in a way. But I think we spoke about this in another episode.
Oh, did we? Okay, cool.
I think. But basically for people that are not going to listen to the other episodes. Quickly, I was in my yoga class. I had finished my yoga class and I felt a little off, like I'm dehydrated. I don't know. Everything looks pink. And I felt like I wasn't going to be able to make it out of the hot yoga room. I'm like, okay, just walk, breathe. You're going to get out of this. Like I thought I was going to pass out. And then I thought I was having this sort of migraine, optical migraine. But I knew it was different. I used to have them before. Because the distortion was right in the middle of my vision. And if I closed my eyes, I would see geometry, right? I saw triangles and circles. And with the sort of pink kind of peachy color around the circles and the triangles. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm seeing geometry. This is not an optical migraine. This is a download. And then after that, I got home and I'm like, and then my voice kept telling me what to do with the ritual I was going to do. It asked me to sing, right? And I'm sure we talked about this, but short story long, I did what the voice said. Like I listen now. I don't question. I'm just like, I'm trusting my throat chakra completely. Well, like it's open, but it just like, and so it was quite the amazing experience, but I felt tired afterwards, like the next day. And it was just like me matching that energy because the downloads had come in. I was vibrating at a frequency that I wasn't used to. So I had to match it. And by that, I had to rest. I had to, I was asked to go salsa dancing and I never turned down salsa dancing. And I was just like, you know what? No, I need to rest and just listening, prioritizing what your intuition is saying, what your body's saying, and taking in the information. So that's the upgrade I got. Or at least one of the biggest one I remember. I don't know if there was another one, but
Yeah, no, that was it.
I'm constantly, definitely, I want to say improving, but no, it's not improving. I'm just constantly remembering who I am.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Any last thoughts?
I heard something on a podcast recently, Modern Wisdom. I don't know what episode. And the guest was saying, we already know all the things. There isn't anything new that we are learning. We're just remembering the stuff that we already know at different times that is landing and integrating in a different way. And being is not new.
Yes.
Right? And I imagine nothing we have talked about is new. And I imagine nothing that we will talk about is new. It's more, okay, do you need a reminder? Is now a good time? Maybe yes, maybe no. And we'll probably be back talking about being in a later episode or in every episode or whatever. It's there's nothing new. It's just, what are you needing to hear and listen now? Right.
Remember now. Yeah. Because that's what it feels like. It just feels like, okay. I know I've mentioned before that some stuff just comes natural to me. When it comes to art as well, I can just do it. And you call it a gift from Dad, but I feel like it's just part of me remembering me as well. Like I remember stuff. Or if I do a ritual, I'm like, where did that come from? And it's just coming from me. And so I'm just enjoying getting all of this information and remembering, because it just feels like, oh, okay, this feels right. It feels aligned. It feels perfect.
Perfect. I was just thinking that. Perfect.
Yeah.
Not like Tuesday group vibes, but like actual perfect. Okay.
Exactly. This is what we have for you.
This is what we have for you this week. Permission to be. And we'll be back next week.
With your permission.
And that is all we have for you this week.
Make sure you follow Permission the Podcast.
And we'll be back next week
With
with your permission.